Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel HealthQ, the place where my mission is to motivate you to look at the brighter side of the health. In today's video, I would be talking about wrist drop, what it is, why it happens, how it is diagnosed, and how it can be managed. If you are interested in knowing about wrist drop, make sure to watch this video till the end. In the video that I would be releasing next week, I would be sharing you some of the exercises that can be used by you if you are suffering from wrist drop. So if this topic is of your interest, make sure also to subscribe to this channel and press that bell icon so that you can get notified every single time I upload a new video. Apart from videos on neurological disorders, I also create videos on wellness as well as musculoskeletal or else bones and joint related health. So this is in some complete health channel that encourages you to look at the brighter side of the health and talks about possibility. So please consider subscribing. So without wasting any due time, let's have a look and understand what is wrist drop. Wrist drop basically happens due to paralysis or else damage to a nerve which is called as radial nerve. Wrist drop, as the name suggests, is a situation or else a condition where the hand is totally bent or it's partially bent depending on the level of nerve injury, and the patient finds it difficult to do the extension movements or else raising of the wrist muscles, as well as raising of the wrist joint, as well as raising of the fingers also upwards. As I said, that this is a condition that happens due to damage to the radial nerve. Radial nerve is a nerve that starts from your cervical spine, then move towards your armpit where there is a tuft of nerve formed which is called as brachial plexus. From there, this moves further and supplies to the backside of the forearm region as well as backside of the wrist and finger region. Hence, whenever the radial nerve is damaged, always the extensor group of muscles, also called as the muscles which are responsible for raising of the wrist or else wrist movement against the gravity, is affected. Hence, whenever the radial nerve injury will happen, definitely there would be a level of wrist drop that would be seen. Now, the severity of wrist drop also varies depending on to what extent and to what level the nerve damage has happened. So wrist drop basically happens due to following condition, and the first condition is wounds or else injury that happens to the wrist or else to the arm region or else in the forearm region. Now, the injuries can be due to stab wound, crush injuries that can happen due to road traffic accident or else any sort of accident where your nerve, muscles, tendons, everything is damaged or else crushed due to a sudden violent pressure coming in the structures. This leads to damage or else sometimes even tearing of the nerve, leading to wrist drop. Apart from the damage that happens due to an injury, another cause of wrist drop is neuropathy. That can happen due to multiple reasons like diabetes mellitus or else rheumatoid arthritis. Now, diabetes mellitus and rheumatoid arthritis are systemic disorders, which means that there is some sort of disease that is present inside the body which affects the nervous system as well, and due to which the wrist drop can happen. The second condition that leads to wrist drop is brachial plexus injury. Now, I have made a series of videos on brachial plexus injury in my previous week's video. If you want to know, make sure to watch that video as well. Now, brachial plexus injury is again a common reason for wrist drop, where the damage to the nerve happens at the armpit level, and that leads to the wrist drop problem. Along with that, the third condition is fracture of arm bone. Now, arm bone is basically called as humerus bone. This is the place where the radial nerve kind of the bone and then moves from the elbow region to the backside of the forearm region. Now, whenever there is break in the continuity of the bone, it also somewhere hurts the radial nerve, due to which the wrist drop is seen. The next condition that leads to radial nerve palsy or else wrist drop is lead poisoning. Although this is a rare condition or else a rare problem, but is also one of the cause for wrist drop. Another common problem that leads to wrist drop is repetitive stress injury. Now, repetitive stress injury mostly happens to the people who tend to use crutches or any side or else any kind of object that creates pressure pressure on the radial nerve either at armpit region or else in the arm region. As I mentioned, that the radial nerve passes around the arm region, and radial nerve starts basically at armpit region, and these are the points where the nerve is typically exposed to pressure, and this pressure slowly or else gradually leads to this repetitive trauma, which leads to wrist drop. But the good news is this kind of repetitive stress kind of wrist drop is self-manageable, and once you remove that pressure, the patient can come back to normal very easily. People who use crutch or else some sort of support, or else the people who tend to keep their hands stretched for a long period of time while walking or sleeping, those are the people who tend to develop wrist drop due to this repetitive stress injury. And the last reason for wrist drop is shoulder joint dislocation. Now, shoulder joint dislocation can happen due to accident, fall, or sometimes due to some violent attack, or else many a times people are prone with subluxating problem. That means they kind of easily subluxate the shoulder joint, and when this repetitive subluxation happen, at that time also the radial nerve can get injured and a patient can develop wrist drop. Now, these were the causes of wrist drop. Now let's understand how one comes to know that this problem is wrist drop, and then let's talk about its management. Now, basically, the typical sign that a patient will experience when there is wrist drop is the wrist would be totally hanging and would be slightly bent inwards. Now, the patient who is suffering from wrist drop will find it difficult to raise the wrist as well as raise the fingers, which will affect the day-to-day activities of holding an object, lifting an object, turning or else opening a doorknob, etc. So whenever a patient goes to the doctor will take a proper history of the patient to understand the root cause of the wrist drop, followed by a physical examination, neurological examination, as well as some of the diagnostic tests like nerve conduction velocity, electromyographic test, sometimes CT scan or MRI to figure out some internal lesions around the joint level or else at the nerve level. And functional testing is also done to understand to what extent the activities of daily living is affected. Once the diagnosis is made, the doctor is able to determine to what extent the nerve damage has happened. Whether the nerve damage is complete, where there is complete rupture of the nerve, or else it is partial, or else moderate, or it is just mild. Now let's talk about the treatment. Most of the time, the mild wrist drop that happens due to an temporary pressure or else repetitive stress are self-managed, which means you don't need to do much about it. You just need to reduce or else remove the stressing factor that is impacting the nerve, and then gradually do the strengthening exercises for the wrist muscle, and that's enough to recover back to the normal position. But if the damage is severe, where there is complete rupture of the nerve, surgical management is required. Sometimes nerve grafting or else repair of the nerve is needed to gain some level of movement. But in general, the treatment comprises of first splinting, which means keeping the hand in correct position, because this is very important. Just when a patient is constantly keeping the wrist in slightly bent position, there are high chances that they develop contracture in the front side of the forearm region, which needs to be avoided, and that's why some external devices like splints, belts are used in order to keep the hand in correct anatomical position and prevent this damage. Apart from that, physiotherapy is basically used to improve the strength of the muscles and to prevent the development of contracture. So mostly physiotherapy comprises of functional electrical stimulation, apart from that strengthening as well as stretching exercises. Occupational therapy is also used in the management of wrist drop, where the patient is trained to use his hand in terms of his day-to-day activities. So the exercises are designed to help the patient to use the hand to its maximum in doing his day-to-day task. And last treatment and last option of the treatment is, as I mentioned, surgery. Surgery is only required if the damage is too severe, where the conservative management like physiotherapy, occupational therapy and splinting will not at all work. In upcoming video that would be released next week, I would be showing some of the exercises that you can do if you are having mild to moderate level of wrist drop. So if you are interested, make sure to stay tuned with me. I hope you like this video. If yes, make sure to like this video, share this video with your friends and family members, and make sure to subscribe to HealthQ channel. On that note, I'll end this video here and see you in next video. Thank you.